Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. With the rising threats at local schools, VISD held a press conference. The details coming up. And there could soon be a change to the Lavaca River. We'll tell you what was discussed by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. Plus, one major drug maker testified on Capitol Hill yesterday about the prices of popular weight loss drugs, what the maker is saying just ahead.
And in the short term, we're tracking a cool front that's going to be making its way into the crossroads alongside some thunderstorms that are tracking through the Dallas-Fort Worth area this morning. But in the long term, we're going to continue watching what's going on out there in the tropics. We'll take a look at all that in the weather coming up.
Victoria West and Hallettsville volleyball had some big matchups last night. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astray.
And I'm Parker Cox. Today is Wednesday, the 4th day of fall, and it's September 25th.
That's right, and it's also National Coffee Day.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's National Coffee Day, but you want to be careful. Don't get too over-caffeinated.
That's true, yeah. I'm actually not a big fan of coffee, but if you're all tuning in with us this morning, you might want to get that coffee because it's early in the morning. It's 6:30, but if you're all tuning in with us right now, if you're about to step out the door, you're going to notice it's pretty humid out there this morning. You're looking live right now in Victoria, sitting at 71 degrees. Dew point right about the same at 71 degree off, though, at bringing humidity to 96%. And usually that would be enough to say there's going to be fog out there this morning. This computer says a 5-mile visibility. So if you see anything out there, it's going to be really light streaks of fog kind of floating through the air. We're not really expecting any dense fog out there because we got some mixing in the atmosphere. Because we got some features nearby. Because looking at your radar, that's pretty clear here at the crossroads. But looking up north where all the activity is, you can see you've got a good cluster of thunderstorms moving through the Mejia area and also parts of southern Corsicana and also east of Highway 35. But that's going to be coming our way later today with that cool front. In fact, timing out the front going into later tonight. I'm thinking sometime after 9, 10, or 11 p.m. that front's going to make its way through the crossroads, and you're going to notice it because it's going to dry up quickly. Dew points are going to be dropping from the 70s into the 40s and the 50s later this week. That's going to be very lovely. But before the front arrives, it's going to be hot today. I'm thinking 97 this afternoon, so if you're seeing your kiddos at the door, pack them some more lightweight clothing and some extra water. But coming up next, we're going to take a look at the timing of that rain and more. Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Victoria School District and local law enforcement held a joint press conference yesterday to address the recent string of threats by students. Victoria County Sheriff Justin Marr and other local leaders were in attendance. They say these threats are taken seriously and could result in a student facing a misdemeanor or even a felony. Sheriff Marr says his office has detained 12 students in 6 weeks. That's an average of 2 threat incidents per week his deputies have worked. And during the press conference, the sheriff's office had 2 more incidents in the district. One involved a stabbing at West High School, which sent a 14-year-old student to the hospital. Sheriff Marr says the student's injuries were not serious and the student is expected to make a full recovery. He also says his deputies detained a 15-year-old student in connection with what he described as an assault. Sheriff Marr did not reveal what was used as a weapon. The West High School campus was placed on a hold while law enforcement handled the incident. A hold means students and staff must remain in their classrooms and parents are not allowed to check students out, and parents should not go to campus during that time. The sheriff's office also responded to an incident at Victoria East High School Tuesday. We reached out for additional information on both incidents and we're waiting to hear back. A former officer suing the El Campo Police Department. Freddie Douglas was fired after he was arrested on a rape accusation last December. A Brazoria County grand jury declined to indict Douglas on the allegations last March. Douglas is suing for wrongful termination and discrimination. He's asking for back pay, interest on back pay, damages for emotional pain, suffering, and more. The suit claims the decision to fire Douglas was racially motivated. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality held a public meeting Tuesday on a proposed water use permit to divert water from the Lavaca River. The application was filed by the Lavaca Navidad River Authority, or LNRA. If approved, the permit will allow the LNRA to build and maintain a dam and reservoir. That supply of water would be for municipal, industrial, and mining purposes in Calhoun, Jackson, Matagorda, Wharton, and Victoria counties. The meeting was held at the Edna High School auditorium. The Secret Service is heightening security around former President Donald Trump. The new measures appear to be visible Monday during Trump's visit to Pennsylvania. The security change comes after a pair of assassination attempts, one at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, that wounded the former president, and a more recent attempt at Trump's Florida golf course. The House unanimously voted to boost protection for all presidential candidates on Tuesday, which would give them the same level of protection as presidents. Drug prices took center stage on Capitol Hill, with lawmakers demanding to know why Americans pay so much more for weight loss drugs than people in other countries.
A contentious hearing in Washington.
Stop ripping us off.
As lawmakers took on the high price of the popular weight loss drugs Ozempic and Wegovy.
Novo Nordisk is not the villain in this story. They're a hero. We should be here celebrating this miracle innovation.
The CEO of Novo Nordisk, the maker of the drugs, was asked why Americans are being charged so much more compared to patients in other countries. The company charging $969 per month for Ozempic before insurance and rebates, compared to $155 in Canada and $59 in Germany. Wegovy cost more than $1,300 per month, compared to $265 in Canada and $137 in Germany.
And my question is, why?
The CEO blamed the U.S. healthcare system, arguing that middlemen, so-called pharmacy benefit managers, are the ones who negotiate costs and get in the way of passing on discounts to customers.
There is a market we have to operate in, and we negotiate hard to make sure that Americans have access.
A recent FTC report found pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, significantly control drug prices, and the agency has targeted the three largest PBMs in a lawsuit over insulin costs. When it comes to Ozempic and Wegovy, Senator Sanders says the PBMs are pointing the finger at Novo Nordisk, saying if the company was willing to lower its prices, that would increase access for patients. But the CEO, non-committal.
Do you have any plans to lower the price of these drugs in the United States?
The Novo Nordisk CEO did say the company is willing to further discuss the issue with lawmakers, saying it's a challenge that needs to be solved together. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
And that leads us to our viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, should weight loss medications be more affordable? Okay, let's take a look. 83% of you say yes, and 17% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. For the first time, the FDA has approved AstraZeneca's FluMist nasal spray to be used outside of a healthcare setting. A prescription will still be required, but the drug maker is planning to start a website where people can answer questions and have those answers reviewed by a pharmacist before the spray is shipped to their homes. FluMist was first approved in 2003, and the CD says the nasal spray has largely been found to be as effective as the shot. The at-home vaccines will be available beginning next fall. And I have a quick correction. So National Coffee Day is actually the 29th. Today is National Cooking Day. Just wanted to set the record straight. All right, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. While nothing is final at this point, it seems unlikely that the government will face a closure next week.
I'm ABC's Perry Russom in Washington. Both former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are talking the #1 issue for voters, the economy. That story coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, I did say there's going to be possible rain today. We'll take a look at the timing for all the thunderstorms possible out there today. And coming up later on Sunrise, we're going to continue looking at what is trying to form out there in the tropics.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information concerning an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. On August 27, 2024, a 27-year-old black male was shot at the 300 block of Sam Houston Drive. The victim was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle. The suspects were described to be one female and two males. One male was wearing a green hoodie and the other male was wearing a black hoodie. Both males were wearing masks. The subjects possibly left the location in a silver or gray Nissan. If you have any information about this aggravated assault, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With Victoria Crime Stoppers, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero. Another woman, human, we're not there right now. Look at that car that's kind of flying right down the screen right now. But right now, 72 degrees in Cuero, and your dew point 1 degree off at 71, bringing humidity to 96%. So plenty humid out there. We're not really expecting any fog out there this morning, although that is enough to see fog. We're not expecting any out there because we've got a little bit of mixing in our atmosphere with a couple of features nearby. But look at your feature radar for today. A form of precipitation we are expecting today is some rain. I know y'all been looking forward to that for the longest time ever, because look at your feature radar for today. I'm thinking sometime after 2 or 3 p.m., maybe even after 1 p.m. There's going to be a few spotty to isolated showers starting to develop in our northern counties, with that front starting to approach us a little bit closer. But then as we go into the later afternoon, sometime after 4 or 5 p.m., I think the coverage is going to increase a little bit. And also, we'll probably have a few thunderstorms out there as well. Good news is no severe weather is expected today, although there might be a few stronger thunderstorms out there that might contain some gusty winds up to 40 miles an hour. Other than that, not expecting anything else in terms of severe weather today. But looking at going into the evening, you're going to see most of the rain activity should start dying off. Sometime in the late evening, there might be a few spotty isolated showers and thunderstorms left over, but after that, it's going to clear right back to mostly clear skies going into tomorrow, and we've got a plethora of sunshine coming our way all the way into next week. But just to prove to you that no severe weather is expected today, National Weather Service has only a marginal risk, and that's only for the wind today. So like I said, if you do see it, it's going to be gusty winds up to 40 miles an hour. But before the front arrives, it's going to be hot today. I'm thinking 97 here in Victoria. Northwestern counties are going to be a degree or two hotter than that. But after the front arrives, we're going to cool down, and our humidity is going to drop as well. But coming up next, we're going to look at what's going on in the tropics.
Now, I know football is 2 days away, but there were multiple games of volleyball last night here in the Crossroads. We started Victoria West playing Corpus team Gregory Portland at home. West started off strong, winning the first set 25-20, and number 8 Emily Parker had a great showing for the Warriors with over double digits in kills and bigs, and helped the team win last night for the Warriors. And now they're 28-4 and 3-0 in district play, and they host Terry High School this Friday night at home. Now over to Hallettsville. They played the Palacios Sharks there, and again, trying to get their first win of the season for Palacios, but Lady Brahmas had different ideas. They swept the Sharkerettes in 3 sets, and Casey Harper led the way with 14 kills, and Elena Halata was outstanding with 26 assists in the game. And both Hannah Zachary and Addison Matala had 10 digs as well for the Brahmas. And Hallettsville hits the road to Columbus again, and Palacios will have to make the trip to Edna this Friday. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Both presidential candidates turn their focus on the economy as the election looms. Harris is heading to Pittsburgh tonight to unveil more of her economic plan. Trump in Georgia last night talking manufacturing jobs.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris is set to unveil more of her economic plan. So far, Harris says she plans to expand tax incentives for new small businesses, create 3 million new housing units, and have down payment support for first-time homebuyers. Trump in Georgia yesterday saying if he wins,
American workers will no longer be worried about losing your jobs to foreign nations. Instead, foreign nations will be worried about losing their jobs to America.
Trump says he'll impose tariffs on foreign imports. Economists say could lead to companies charging customers more to offset the tax. The top Republican in the Senate agrees.
I'm not a fan of tariffs. They raise the prices for American consumers.
Abortion rights is a defining issue for the Harris campaign. Harris now saying she wants to change Senate rules to pass abortion rights protection laws.
I've been very clear. I think we should eliminate the filibuster for Roe and get us to the point where 51 votes would be what we need to actually put back in law the protections for reproductive freedom.
A new poll shows a wide gender gap among independent female voters. 51% supporting Harris, 36% for Trump. Trump reaching out to women, saying he will be their protector.
You will be protected, and I will be your protector. Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free. You will no longer be thinking about abortion.
The Harris campaign responding, saying after ripping away our reproductive freedom, now he's telling us how to think. And there is new polling from Reuters and Ipsos showing Harris gaining momentum nationally. Among likely voters, Harris is at 50%, Trump is at 44%. Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
Nothing is set in stone yet, but it looks like the U.S. government won't be forced to close its doors next week. Lawmakers appear poised to prevent a government shutdown today. The Senate has come to terms on an agreement that calls for a vote on a government funding extension after it passes the House. The continuing resolution, or CR, pushes the government shutdown deadline from September 30th to December 20th. If lawmakers are unable to get a funding bill passed by Monday, millions of federal employees and military personnel will be affected. The Victoria Fire Department will be collecting smoke detectors to safeguard homes throughout Victoria. During the month of October, as part of Fire Prevention Month, collection boxes will be set up at both Victoria Walmart locations. Residents can donate new smoke detectors. Fire Chief George Gomez says the department's goal is to put smoke alarms in 90% of Victoria homes within the next 3 years. To request a smoke detector, contact the Fire Marshal's office at 361-485-3460. The time is now 6:47 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come, a federal agency suggests that for an extended period, there may have been issues related to a payment processing network's role in the debit card market.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, I'm sure a lot of you are still wondering what is going on out there in the tropics, because we got a couple systems out there now trying to form. But I'm going to start out with Helene. I'm only going to spend a few seconds here on Helene because you can notice that's not coming our way. That's going towards Florida. But it is going to be making its way toward Florida, likely making landfall sometimes late Thursday night into Friday morning, likely as a Category 3, maybe even a Category 4 hurricane with winds greater than 110 or 130 miles an hour. That is an absolutely devastating hurricane if that does head up towards Florida, which it likely is. But looking at looking at where it's going to likely make landfall, we're thinking somewhere in the Big Bend, western coast of Florida as we go into Thursday night and Friday morning as a very likely major hurricane. But I'm going to actually zoom out into the rest of the Atlantic and look at what we're going to be looking at over the next week and a half to 2 weeks. It's going to be this little area right here in the Western Caribbean. I'm thinking chance of development of this tropical wave that's going to continue moving western, entering the Caribbean today. Chances of development are going to be on next Wednesday all the way through next Saturday. And why that might develop is because there's going to be a stationary front nearby, and there's also going to be subtropical high pressure, which is going to encourage anything that does develop out here to move northwest into the Gulf. In fact, I'm not the only one that's watching this. So is the Climate Prediction Center. They have chances at 40 to 60% chance of development sometime after Wednesday. So make sure to stay tuned later into this weekend for more details on that system coming possibly next week. But in the meantime, it's going to be great weather to get down to the beach or go fishing out there. Smooth waves, 1 foot or less. Water still very warm at 90, and your wind pretty light at 5 to 10 knots. But we're going to take a look at that more coming up later on Sunrise. Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Justice Department alleges that for more than a decade, Visa has abused its dominant position in the debit card market. The U.S. Justice Department filed a lawsuit Monday. The DOJ says Visa is forcing businesses to use their network instead of competitors and stopping new options from entering the market. This complaint against Visa says more than 60% of debit transactions in the country take place on Visa's debit network. The Justice Department says Visa is able to charge more than $7 billion in processing fees. The Israeli military says it intercepted a rocket from Lebanon near Tel Aviv in a rare attack. There were no immediate reports of damage or casualties. Since the outbreak of conflict between Israel and Hamas last October, Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah has fired hundreds of rockets and drones from Lebanon targeting northern Israel. The intercept comes days after Israeli strikes targeted the militant group, killing more than 500 people across Lebanon, marking the deadliest day Lebanon has seen in nearly 2 decades. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Floridians getting ready as a tropical storm heads their way. Florida residents prepare as Tropical Storm Helene takes aim at the state. Meteorologists are predicting that storm surge will be as high as 10 to 15 feet in some areas, with the rainfall totals between 6 to 12 inches. The storm is expected to become a hurricane today as it enters the Gulf, moving north toward the U.S. The National Hurricane Center says Helene could strengthen to a Category 3 or higher hurricane by Thursday when it reaches Florida's coast, bringing winds greater than 110 miles per hour. The U.S. plans to announce billions of dollars for Ukraine within the coming days. Sources say Congress failed to include an aid extension in its stopgap measure to keep the government open. The first of the military aid packages, which is expected as soon as Wednesday, will total $375 million. However, the shipment of weapons could be delayed due to dwindling stockpiles in the weapons and equipment that the U.S. is willing to send Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to visit the U.S. Capitol Thursday. Intelligence officials briefed former President Trump about ongoing Iranian threats to assassinate him. The Director of National Intelligence Office acknowledged the briefing but declined to address specifics. A spokesperson says the specific threats from Iran to assassinate him are in an effort to destabilize and sow chaos in the United States. The Secret Service increased security around Trump this year when the Biden administration received intelligence about an alleged Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. Beginning this morning, Spring Creek Road will close for brush and weed clearing along the right-of-way. The closure will be from Main Street to the bridge area from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Residents in the area will still have access to their homes. To avoid delays, through traffic is encouraged to seek alternate routes. Lavaca County now under a burn ban. Commissioners put the burn ban in place Monday. This is the second burn ban in Lavaca County this year. The first was lifted on August 30th. Any person caught burning in any unincorporated areas of Lavaca County may be fined up to $500. And Ken Paxton's office is suing the Biden administration for declaring a rare lizard endangered. Earlier this year, the dune sagebrush lizard burrows in the same West Texas land that supports the state's biggest oil and gas fields. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it in your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And we do have time for a final check of our forecast and a look at what's happening in the tropics with Parker. Parker, how's it looking?
Well, Carolina, this morning we've got a beautiful sunrise over the coast. You're looking at it here in Port Lavaca. Look at all the colors out there with that sunrise. We've got some pink, purple, yellow, even some blue in there as well. But if you're going to go see that sunrise right now, it's a great time to do it. A little bit humid out there, but not really expecting any fog out there. But what we are expecting today is a front. In fact, you're looking at it. We've got some thunderstorms that are going to be heading our way going into later this afternoon. That's up there in central Texas. And actually, looking at your future high temperatures map for today, you can actually see right where the front is going to be as we go into the mid-afternoon time today, but that will be arriving sometime later today. Behind the front in the 80s, ahead of the front, we're still in the 90s. I'm thinking about 94 in Port Lavaca today, maybe some thunderstorms in the late afternoon. And Victoria, about the same timing for the rain today, but again, about 97 or 98. And a little bit warmer in Cuero, 98 or 99 today, with maybe just some showers out there for today. But after the front arrives, our temperatures drop into the low 90s, and the humidity, you're going to notice that that's going to dry off as well.
I can't wait, Parker.
Oh, I can't either, Carolina.
I'm so excited
Oh,
for that humidity to go away.
Oh, yes. Cannot wait.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Remember to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Shauna, Dawn, Mac, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget your Hurricane Tracker Guide.